For most businesses, AI started as an opportunity, a way to move faster, cut costs, automate work, gain an edge. And at first, that's exactly what it looked like. Smarter tools, faster outputs, smaller teams doing more. But now something unexpected is happening. AI isn't just a productivity tool anymore. It's becoming a cost problem. And for many companies, that realization is just starting to sink in. Because while AI can create value, it also comes with a growing list of expenses, some obvious, many hidden, that are starting to reshape how businesses think about using it. This is why AI is becoming a cost problem for businesses. The first issue is the most straightforward. AI is expensive to run. Behind every AI tool is a massive amount of computing power. Whether it's generating content, analyzing data, or running complex models, these systems rely on high-performance infrastructure. And that infrastructure isn't cheap. Every query, every task, every automation carries a cost. At small scale, it feels manageable. At large scale, it adds up fast. For companies using AI across teams, departments, or customer-facing products, usage costs can grow quickly, sometimes faster than expected. And unlike traditional software, these costs aren't always fixed. They scale with usage, which means the more successful your AI implementation is, the more it can cost you. That's a very different dynamic. Another major cost comes from implementation. AI isn't plug-and-play for most businesses. It requires integration with existing systems, customization for specific use cases, and ongoing adjustments to make it work effectively. That takes time, it takes expertise, and it often requires hiring or training people who understand how to work with these tools. All of that adds cost before you even start seeing meaningful returns. Then there's the cost of experimentation. AI is still evolving, which means companies are constantly testing new tools, new models, and new workflows. Some of these experiments work, many don't, but they all require resources, time, money, attention. And while experimentation is necessary, it creates a layer of cost that didn't exist in more stable technology environments. There's also a growing issue with duplication. In many organizations, different teams adopt different AI tools independently. Marketing uses one platform, engineering uses another, customer support uses something else. On the surface, this looks like innovation, but underneath it creates inefficiency. Multiple subscriptions, overlapping capabilities, fragmented systems, and that leads to higher overall costs. Instead of one streamlined solution, companies end up with a patchwork of tools that are harder to manage and more expensive to maintain. Another hidden cost is data. AI systems rely heavily on data, clean, structured, accessible data. But most companies don't have perfect data environments, so they have to invest in organizing, cleaning, and managing their data before AI can be used effectively. This includes building data pipelines, maintaining storage systems, and ensuring data security. These are ongoing costs, and they can be significant. There's also the issue of accuracy. AI isn't perfect, it makes mistakes, and those mistakes can be costly. Incorrect outputs, flawed analysis, or unreliable automation can create risks for businesses, so companies have to build safeguards, human oversight, validation systems, quality control processes, all of which add another layer of cost. In some cases, the cost of monitoring AI can reduce the efficiency gains it was supposed to create. Then there's the talent factor. Using AI effectively requires new skills: prompt engineering, data analysis, system integration, model evaluation. These aren't always skills that existing teams have. So companies either have to hire new talent or train their current workforce. Both options are expensive, and in a competitive talent market, those costs can be even higher. There's also a strategic cost that many companies don't fully anticipate: dependence. As businesses integrate AI deeper into their operations, they become dependent on external platforms and providers. That creates risk. Pricing can change, access can be restricted, capabilities can evolve in ways that don't align with the company's needs, and when that happens, switching costs can be high. So companies aren't just paying for AI, they're committing to it. And that commitment has long-term financial implications. Another important factor is scale. At small scale, AI looks incredibly efficient. A few tools can dramatically improve productivity, but at large scale, complexity increases. Managing AI across an entire organization requires coordination, governance, and infrastructure. Policies need to be set, usage needs to be tracked, performance needs to be measured, and all of that requires systems and resources, which adds cost. There's also the question of return on investment. Not every AI use case delivers clear value. Some applications save time but don't directly increase revenue. Others improve quality but are hard to measure financially. This makes it difficult for companies to justify ongoing spending. And in a tighter economic environment, that becomes a problem, because if you can't clearly show value, it's harder to justify the cost. Finally, there's the broader issue of expectations. AI has been positioned as a transformative technology, and that creates pressure. Pressure to adopt it, pressure to invest in it, pressure to keep up with competitors. Even if the business case isn't fully clear, this leads to spending that isn't always strategic. Companies invest because they feel they have to, not because they've identified the most effective use cases, and that can lead to inefficiency. So when you put all of this together, a different picture of AI emerges, not just as a tool for efficiency, but as a new category of cost. A cost that grows with usage, a cost that requires ongoing investment, a cost that introduces complexity, not just simplicity. And that doesn't mean AI isn't valuable. It is. But it changes the equation. It forces companies to think more carefully about how they use it, where it creates real value, and where it simply adds expense. Because in today's business environment, it's not enough for a technology to be powerful, it has to be cost-effective. And that's the challenge many businesses are now facing. Figuring out how to turn AI from a growing expense into a sustainable advantage. Because the companies that solve that problem will be the ones that truly benefit from the AI revolution, while others may find themselves spending more